Hello guys, Adam here from Toys Action Figures, bringing you another Power Rangers Lightning Collection Beast Morphers Red Ranger review. And yes, we are back on the Lightning Collection. We are on my bread and butter, and we have the Beast Morphers Red Ranger, the second Beast Morphers figure we've had on the channel. Back in the old-fashioned boxes, which I love. Let's get him out. It's interesting how he comes posed in the box. It's not often you see that in Lightning Collection. Morphers Red in his back of the box pose, and I have to say, I think Beast Morphers are, from a design perspective, they are like, I think, the worst design suits of Power Rangers. I think they definitely rank bottom for me. They look the most realistic in a sense of they look like, you know, if you've ever seen Kick-Ass, where the guy makes his own suit out of like just regular clothing. That's exactly what this looks like. It looks like they've just put on like a leather jacket, a motorbike helmet with a visor, and just some black trousers and leather boots, and being like, okay, now we're superheroes. Which is, yeah, it looks realistic, but I just don't think it's a very good looking look for a Power Ranger, unfortunately. But there are some interesting things I've noticed about the figure from a Lightning perspective. Lightning Collection perspective, that, you know, there's some bits on here that you don't usually see on the Lightning Collection. So let's have a bit of a closer look at him. Okay, so like I said, I'm not going to go through his articulation because it is a Lightning Collection figure, and I've reviewed probably 100 of these already, and the articulation is mostly the same. What you will notice, though, is this is an older figure because you can still see all of the pins. But yeah, I did want to look at some of his detail because I do think he has quite a lot of nice detail. Like you can see there on the visor, it's meant to look like some kind of cat, you know, like a cheetah or a puma or something. Has the dots on the head, so I would go more for cheetah. I don't know Beast Morphers, but like I said, you can kind of be forgiven, or forgive me maybe for thinking it looks like a motorbike helmet, because that's exactly what it looks like with this kind of visor on the front. It doesn't have the kind of typical Power Rangers like little mouthpiece there. It's all just one helmet, but it is nice, and you can see there is some nice like detail there on the eyes. That the engravings here are painted, which is nice. I don't know how accurate it is to the show. You know, Hasbro tended to mess some things up with helmets in the show, in the figures compared to the show, but it does look pretty cool. I also like here that on the neck you see there's this piece going up from his chest there up to the neck, and the neck is actually black, so that adds in another nice piece of color. The zip is really nicely painted. I really like what they did with the arms here, that it's kind of two-toned. Even on the hinge they managed to paint it silver underneath. You can tell it's the red plastic. The arm is plastic because of the shoulder here and the pegs, but they did quite a good job of getting a line of plastic. And there's even here, you might not be able to see it too well on the camera, but there's an engraved line here which splits the two, and also another engraved line here, which is really nice. You can also see there's a little bit of detail here on the kind of harness that they're wearing, and that's another thing that, you know, you don't see that often in Lightning Collection, that they have like an overlay piece or harness like that. But it's nice that they hit it with a bit of silver. And then also the morpher, this is something that is very inconsistent in Lightning Collection, whether or not morphers are painted, and here it is painted quite nicely. You can see it's kind of like this glossy orange on the end, the silver, even like two little blue hits here, which is quite interesting. I have the Yellow Ranger as well. I was just looking, and she also got those as well. So it looks like, at least with the ones that I have, they were quite consistent with the morphers, which is not always the case in Lightning Collection. Then we go down to the belt, and also the logo there on the belt is nicely painted. The sword also has some pretty nice detail. It's got kind of a blue to the edge there, and again this section of the hilt is painted with even some nice little red dots. And then going down to his legs again. The legs, they sort of I guess the unique sculpts. You might not see it so well on the camera, but there are kind of sculpts here that almost look like big pockets or padding. And then you go down to the legs, and it's also, there's like a seam running through the middle of the knee, which you don't usually see on Lightning Collection. And then you go down to the boots, and yeah, there's some nice sculpting on the boots there. You can see the zipper up the back, which is pretty cool. Again, you don't see that too often. There's this ridge up here with also a little bit of detail. Let me see if I can just get a bit more light for you. A little bit of detail on it too, which is nice. And then the boots themselves, like I said, they have some sculpting going up in kind of these big, almost looks like an M or a W shape, which is nice because, again, usually the boots in Lightning Collection are just sort of plain plastic. So there is a few things to like it about him. There's some stuff that, even though I don't think the design of him is that interesting, or this team is that interesting, the design of the figure is definitely cool. I think there are some things that do let the figure down and do make it feel a bit like cheap compared to some other figures. The first thing is the blaster that he comes with. It just looks like a piece of red plastic with a painted tip. It's supposed to be a mouth open, and you can kind of tell there is a mouth there, and it is a little paint hit on the eye, which is quite impressive that they managed to get the eye painted and also the black line there. But this to me just feels it's too glossy, it's too plasticky looking. It just looks completely kind of cheap compared to this figure. Like, you can see how much gloss and plastic difference there is. Interestingly though, it also comes with this piece here which flips onto the sword, and I don't think I've actually seen this piece ever before in a Lightning collection, so it must be unique to Beast Morphers. Quite a nice looking piece. It looks like something that should have been in Tron. Interesting, yeah, and I think that's something, you know, you could use with a lot of other different figures, which is cool. Then, as always, we have the head sculpt, and again, I don't really know the actor, but I've always liked the head sculpts of Lightning collection, and now, you know, this is a few years old, you can see that there's quite a lot of shine to it. It would be nice if it was a bit more of a matte finish on the face, but it is still a very good looking face. I don't necessarily know if it looks like the actor. It's a bit annoying here though, where you can see where they haven't shaved off the where it's been attached to the mold properly. That's a bit annoying. But you can see the eyes look great. Even like the kind of bags under his eyes are sculpted in. The nose, the paint on the lips looks awesome. He has earrings, which I also really like when you get characters with earrings and they're painted. And I think his hair texture looks great too. I don't know what this character is called. You'll have to let me know down in the comments, and also let me know if you actually think he looks like the actor. And then the final two accessories the Beast Morpher Red comes with is two fists, which are nice. So, you know, he has a sword wielding hand, on this hand, or a trigger finger hand, I guess, and then he has this kind of claw hand here. It looks like he's doing like the death choke from Darth Vader, and he does come with two fists, which is nice too, which is in contrast to the Yellow Ranger, who came with a fist, a claw hand, or a grasping hand, a sort of another grasping hand. So she came with two grasping hands, but then she also came with a chop hand, so she didn't have two fists, which I always blows my mind that that's not the case. She also didn't come with a blaster, which is interesting, but she did come with the sword, which, looking at the sword, it is a different sculpt. You can see the one on the right is the Blue Ranger, the one on the left is the yellow, and you can tell, like, yeah, they are they different sculpts? Maybe they're not, but this one definitely feels heavier and thicker. Yeah, I think you can kind of, yeah, but even there they look the same size. It's interesting, but this one, maybe it's just made out of a different type of plastic, but it definitely feels heavier than this. This feels very flimsy and cheap, and this feels rock solid. So, interesting. Anyway, let's get the Beast Morpher Red into a pose, and then we'll put him into a pose with the Yellow Ranger as well. Okay, and here we have the Beast Morpher Red Ranger in another pose, and I actually quite like this pose, because this almost is giving like Black Panther vibes with the helmet there, the kind of bend, the clawed arm. And as I'm posing him, you know, looking at him, I am actually warming up to his design. Like, it is a little bit cooler than I thought. There's a little bit more detail on this figure than I originally thought as well, which is really nice because, yeah, I mean, sometimes in Lightning Collection the detail varies. But let's, you know what, let's put some of his accessories on and have a look at him. Okay, and here is the Red and Yellow Ranger stood side by side, just so you can get them in there nicely. The Red Ranger is holding his blaster, the Yellow Ranger is holding a sword because she doesn't come with a blaster. And I think it is interesting, like, again, looking at the helmets, obviously the Yellow Ranger is more of a, I guess she's meant to be a rabbit by the look of the ears on top of her head there. But it's kind of interesting seeing how they are stacked up against each other. His visor is very angular and almost like again, kind of W-shaped in a way, and hers is like a figure of 8, like it's very bubbly and curved and almost feels like insectish somehow. But they do look cool together, and like I said, they do, on my lights, they do shine quite a lot. Like, I do think these figures do feel very plasticky compared to other Lightning Collection figures. I think it's because of the texture that is on their kind of leather jackets there and all of the additional kind of sculpt that is put into it, it does make the light bounce off it a little bit more and makes them look way more shiny than they actually are. Like also, like with the lights on in the camera, they look much more saturated than they do in real life, especially the Red Ranger. Like on my camera, he looks bright red. In reality, he looks a bit more dulled down. But yeah, they're definitely cool figures, and I think we should put them in one more pose. And here we have the two Beast Morphers with their civilian heads on. And yeah, I got them in the best pose I could. I'll move the light a little bit. Oh, it looks so dark. Yeah, they are very loose. You might have noticed from the B-roll it's very sunny and hot outside, so they've warmed up quite a bit. And yeah, this asset piece here, it's quite heavy, so that's why his arm is kind of bent down like that. But I'm like, oh, it looks like he's doing a low block. It's fine. And for her, she doesn't really have much articulation at all with this head on because of her hair there, you can see, and then also the dress kind of blocks her leg articulation a lot. But if you do want to check out her video, you can do so. I already made a review of the Yellow Ranger a while ago. But yeah, it's been interesting getting these two out together. Like I said, the Red Ranger is quite an early one. I can't remember what wave he was from. Let me know in the comments. And also, I can't remember what wave she was from, but I know she came in a plasticless box, so one of the later ones. And having them side by side and kind of seeing how this progressed, this team progressed, this line progressed, was quite interesting. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think of the Beast Morphers in general. Like, do you like their designs? Do you like their suits? Let me know what you think about these figures. Let me know if you haven't, you may be coming back to this video because you only watched Lightning Collection stuff. Let me know if you have seen the Playmates collector line, all of the Zeo Rangers they announced at SDCC. Let me know what you think of that and if you're going to pick those up if you can get hold of them. And yeah, you can do all that down in the comments. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure you subscribe and like for more Power Rangers content, action figure reviews, and much more. So thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.